Hey everybody, welcome to Live Coding with Jesse. I'm Jesse, and today I'm streaming from home. I had some issues with the quality, but then I turned off Spotify, the desktop player, and that seemed to fix the issues. But if you have any issues, let me know. I'll do what I can. Let's see. Sorry, I just I just saw the quality drop, so I was just making sure. Like, all right, what else can I shut down here? Let me shut some more tabs in Chrome. I thought I shut all of them down, but then I noticed that on one of my other screens, I still had some of them up that I really didn't need. Let's see. All right, it's pretty good now. Okay, cool. So if you weren't here yesterday, I'm going to just go over briefly what we did because we're just going to continue on with what we started yesterday. So this will probably be best if you can see the code or an example. So I'm going to switch over so you can see the code. And let's start with an example. I think that'll be best for now. So here in the side menu we have sections, and you can drop down these sections and see, you know, these links underneath here. What I'd like to do though is make it so that these links inside of a section could also be drop downs and have their own submenu items. So yesterday we did a few things, but what we ended with was that we divided up these links into having the link on the left side, and then we have this section over here on the right side. And when you click it right now, nothing happens. Right, so we wanted to leave it so that this side could still be a link. Oops. And then the other side, I don't know why that just closed. I guess I accidentally clicked on something. So then the other side would be an icon to indicate that you can drop down and have some more options. So I've changed some of the data. Let's get this out of here. So I've added in, let me make that bigger, there's no way y'all can see that. There we are. You don't need that for right now. Okay. So in our data, and for those of you who are new, you can check out all this code online. The link to the GitHub repo is in the description below this video. So right now we're in drawermenu.js, and I've added these submenu items. If you remember yesterday, we were just saying submenu true if we wanted a submenu. Now we have an array of objects that will have the text, the link URL, and then the as URL. And if this looks weird to you, it is weird. You don't normally have to include this, but to keep the client-side routing working like we want it to, we have to add this in. So now we actually have some data. We can go back into our component and we can map over this data and try to put in some links. So let's do that now. So we won't really need to come back to this data. We're going to be in Let's see where our component is. So we're going to be in the components folder, and we're going to select DrawerItem.js. So if you would like to check out the code, that's where it's going to be. And so here's where we're at. If you remember from yesterday, actually, let me start with my Pomodoro clock so we can get started on some of this coding. Yesterday, we added in an option where we had our submenu items. So before, we were just saying, let's see, if there are submenu items, then we want to render this collapsible section. And then within there, we were mapping over all the submenu items, and that data came from, you know, this page that we have open over here, this file. And then we were displaying all of those links. But now we added in an alternative. So if that particular item has submenu items, so even more another submenu inside of the item that is a submenu. So I guess that's a bit confusing. But essentially we're having like two levels of links possible here. Then we're going to add in, and yesterday all the farther we got was we added in another section where an icon could live that would be clickable. What we need to do today is actually add in the icon, make it clickable, and then when it's clicked, we want to be able to display a whole nother collapsible section. So it's going to get a little bit tricky, but I think we can get through it today in today's stream, given, you know, maybe like two Pomodoro sessions. Let's see. Sorry, I just got messages from my work Slack, so I was just double checking to make sure it wasn't an emergency. Okay. Let's see. So I guess first thing we should do then is just go for the icon. So first step is let's actually display an icon. Second step is set up a click handler for that. And then after that, we'll worry about displaying the submenu items. So here we're saying submenu. That's not what we want, right? We want this click. So let's see how we're doing this here. One click, expand item. Okay, so we already have these expand more, expand less icons. So let's grab this for now, and we'll put it down here. And let's see, what we want to say is sub. All right, this looks weird, but it's going to say is submenu open. I mean, I'm not sure how to say that, but it is a submenu inside a submenu. So let's make sure we add that to our up. You know what? We're going to have to go up Are we gonna have to go up? Let me think. No, we won't. So I think we're handling a lot of these in the parent component, but I don't think we would need to. I don't think we need to do that. All right, let me know if anybody thinks otherwise, but I don't think there's any reason why we need to move this up to the parent component. Let's see, do we need it? No, we don't. I remember now why we end up moving that, because on the click of of these links, we wanted to be able to open up a section, so we needed to handle that in a parent component, so that basically we could change the state by clicking on something in this app bar component, and then that state could be passed down. So that's why we did it. So we don't need to worry about that. So let's add in some state. Actually, we could probably copy a lot of what we did for the component, for the other component in here. So let's do that. Was it drawer layout? I think we did this in layout. So let's just copy all the state from layout for now, and then we'll remove what we need to remove. And admissions. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this should work. So first, let's copy that. Actually, oh, I thought I could copy it all in one go, but this is for the drawer. So let's go back. Okay, so we don't need this drawer. I don't know that we need this either. Let's see. It says expand item. We will need this. So let's copy this and move to drawer item. And right now I'm just copying. As we go through, I'll explain more of what these do, because we did this a long time ago. So many of you have joined the stream, even with within the last month or so, probably won't remember how we did this. So essentially, we are getting the previous state, and we're changing it to basically like the opposite of the previous state for the drawer item. So that's all. I mean, it may look like a little more than you need for that, but that's essentially what we're doing. Is we're changing the drawer item basically from like open to close, right? I mean, really, pretty simple. So let's go see, how do we pass this in? Yeah, it is going to be a bit simpler, because you see here, we passed into drawer this expand item, and then in drawer, let's see, search. Where's our list item? So I'm just trying to take you through the flow of this and see where it's at. Input. Alright, so we're below this. Okay, so here's where we have our drawer item. Okay, and this is where we're passing down that expand item. Okay, and we're also passing down the state to say whether or not this is open. So it's this props drawer items about. Okay, and if you remember, we had in the state for the app bar, or I'm sorry, for the layout, in state there was an option in state called drawer items, and then about was inside that. So we had that for for each one of these. We actually hard coded these in since there's so few of them. Okay, if we get many more than this, we'll probably just map over the data, stored somewhere else, to save some space. I mean that's just those ones alone are probably taking up a fourth of this component right now. So we may end up doing that to save some space, but not for this stream right now. Okay, and then finally, when we get to drawer item, we can see that that expand item and is open is also getting passed down. So we see is open determines which it determines which icon, that's the word I was looking for, is going to be displayed. So in this case, do we want submenu? Oh, okay. I just broke it because I was in the middle of changing this, so we won't be able to see it yet. So basically, is the little arrow pointing up or down, right? That's what this will do. And if, let's see, there are submenu items, then we are going to actually add all this, collapse stuff for the list. Let's see, and actually for this, were there submenu items? Yeah, for this one there are submenu items for everything, which is why we didn't really bother to add an alternative, because that top level always has it. So but inside of here we need another option. So inside of here we've essentially done the same thing. We're checking for submenu items, or I'm sorry, we're checking for a submenu on the submenu items, but we're having two options. Okay, so we've already moved this expand more, expand less down here. And that's why we've created the is submenu open. So that was a longer explanation than I anticipated, but essentially, that's what we want. So let's go with the state and say okay, yeah, we're not gonna have. We're actually not going to need these, right? Yeah, I don't think we will need any drawer items. Yeah. Essentially, I don't want to hard code these. There's going to be way too many. So that's what I'm saying. We don't really need drawer items. I will put in, hey, we do have this, but right now there's nothing in it. So then what will happen is this will get added in. Let's see. So we'll probably need to rework this a bit. Item ID. All right, actually, we'll see if this automatically adds it in, because this is within set state. That's the behavior that I want, is to automatically add that in. I'm going to check my time. Okay, 10 minutes. All right, so we should have time to get, basically to see something. Also, what did I want? I totally forgot to add is sub menu open. So we're going to need... Let me think. Actually, we're going to need to pass this down. We will need this. Whoops, and I didn't get everything. So we'll need that. And let's put it here on the grid item itself to give a bigger click area. So it's on-clicked, expand item, item ID. Let's make sure, yeah, there we go, expand item, item ID. And then what we'll want here is, I think we're not going to do is sub menu open. What we'll do is we'll say drawer, and I can't remember what it was. Drawer items dot, or we'll drawer items, and then we'll say item ID, drawer items, item ID, and then we're going to check to see, no, that's it. We should be able to check to see drawer items, item ID. So let's go up here where we have this props, and let's also make const, let's say drawer items, this state. Okay. And what else do we want? No, that's it for now. Also, item ID is not going to work for us because item ID is being passed down. So the item ID in this case would be talking about this kind of upper level. Yeah, so let's see. So drawer is passing down item ID, and then we're manually passing down the ID of about. So we're not going to do that. What we need to do instead of item ID is say, and this is only in that in tier, that sub menu. Instead of item ID, we need let's see what we want to do. Let's check our data for a second to see. I mean, we could use, I suppose we'll just use the text then. The item ID will be the text. So we'll say item dot text. Okay. All right. Oops. Wow, that was not what I wanted. There we go. Okay, so this will probably be enough. Yeah, this should be enough to just see the menu items now. And it should fix any errors that we have. So, I think. And while that's loading, I check my time. Okay, about 5 minutes. So make sure it loads. Okay, good. It's a good sign. Everything's just so slow when I stream from home. It's just the, my MacBook is much less powerful than my iMac. Okay, so let's go here. See what we have. Yay! Check it out. Okay, so we have, let's see. So this, just want to make sure. So it doesn't affect this at all. So our state's separate, which is expected. That's what we wanted to happen. Now we have this. Whoops. You know what we're gonna have to do? I believe we have it set to auto close when this is clicked on. So we're gonna have to change that. But other than that, I mean, this is work, and the alignment's a little bit off. But other than that, this is working so far. All right, so that was, basically phase one, was get the icon there and have it only show up if there were submenu items. So now step two is basically make something happen when that's clicked on. So we're going to add a click handler. And right now, actually, we should check the state. So we should have, because we did put the click handler on there. So we should have something happening with the state. We're going to have to take, so we have a on-click toggle drawer for these list items, and we really don't want that. So for every list, everything in the list, we're toggling the drawer. So what we don't want that. What we want instead, we want to remove these toggles from list, and we want to add these toggles down to our actual A tag. So actually we have the toggle drawer on this A tag. Interesting. I think I'm gonna add them. I want to add them here to our link, and we should be able to remove them from the A tag. So we shouldn't really need it anymore. But then when we have from the list, yeah, so this should work. So this is now on the link, but not on our toggle here. But then on this link, let's add it here, but not on the A tag. Okay. Let's see how that goes. So let's wait for the refresh. Maybe. Let's manually refresh. This will probably be the last thing we do for this Pomodoro session. Then we'll take a break and I'll answer some questions in the live chat. Okay, so we're at academics. Okay, and when I click this, it should not close. Wonderful. But when I click this, it should close. Automatically close. Okay. So I guess I broke it. Alright, what's this? Let's see, we have this going here. Let's check this one. Yeah, I have broken that functionality. So we're gonna fix that when I come back. When we come back, we'll do a break now for questions. And let me scroll up. Phoenix says, sorry for not being here yesterday, but as promised, I'm here today. Awesome. It's good to have you here. Peter says, haven't been able to catch the stream in a while. How y'all doing? I'm doing okay. It's good to have you back. Freddie says, buenos dias. Buenos dias. Bienvenidos. All right, so Freddie's still speaking Spanish, and I'm trying to translate, but my Spanish is not great. Anna's here. Hey, Anna, how's it going? Rook's here. Hey. I might have to use Google Translate here. let me open Google Translate on my other screen, and then that way I'll know for sure what you're saying. Okay, cool. So it's just something is learned every day. Let's see. Let me try to translate the rest. Okay, so it looks like Freddie's saying I'll see you later. It's 1:30 in the afternoon. Yeah, Freddie, I think we're in the same time zone here because that's what time it is over here. Let's see. Phoenix says, by the way, I will be starting React soon. Just curious, is Vue kind of a subset of React? So no, actually, so Vue is a totally different library than React. So the end result is usually the same. You know, you're going to build a web app, but yeah, Vue and React are totally different projects. Sorry about the yawn. Yeah, so if you know, some concepts I'm sure will be the same between Vue and React. I personally have not used Vue, so I can't tell you for sure, you know, what the biggest differences are and similarities. But yeah, I mean, if you know React, you're not going to automatically know Vue, so they're not that, you know, close together. And it says, any plans for tomorrow? What's tomorrow? Thursday. I'll be in the office tomorrow because I have a meeting, and I think that's it. I don't have anything else planned. Just gonna meeting. I'm hopefully gonna do a stream and just work on this website some more, and then of course hang out with my family afterwards. But all right, so that was good timing. I got to the bottom of the chat. And there we go. John asked one more question. I have a strange Chrome problem. Only on my own. Create React apps. I can no longer edit any styles in the dev tools. All of them are grayed out. Style editing works in Firefox and Edge. Anyone? Wow. I have never heard of that happening. So, I mean, if anyone has come across that issue, please let us know in the chat or in the comments to this video. But yeah, I've never had that. I don't know why it would be doing that. Well, actually, I don't know what's going on today, but we have a lot less viewers than normal, which is actually cool. It's kind of like more chill when we do it like this. I feel like I have kind of freedom to spend more time on each question and talking to you all individually. But yeah, I wonder what happened. Is anything else going on like live right now, or I don't know. Usually when this happens, it's because like notifications didn't go out to people. So that's a possibility. I think I did do a stream during like some big conference that was live streaming before, and I didn't get a lot of people then. Oh, Ricardo says Zuckerberg at Congress. Yeah. All right. I didn't realize that was still going on right now. So if that's the case, that probably explains it. I'm gonna go with that and not like nobody wants to watch my show. So if they pick Mark Zuckerberg over me, then I'll understand that. That's acceptable. All right. So started the next Pomodoro timer. We'll do one more. And I have just broken something that was working on this component. So we did have it automatically shut the drawer when you clicked on one of these links. Now it's not working, so let's figure out why it broke and try to get that working, and then we can move on, you know, to the next part. Okay, so what I did was I removed actually, this is interesting. Maybe let's see. So obviously this does not work on the link tag itself. Maybe it should be on the A tag, which we removed it from the A tag. Whoops. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so maybe it should be on the A tag, and so we're going to put it back on the A tag. And for this one, and We're going to do the same thing here for this A tag. And we're going to go ahead and remove it from these links since obviously it's not working on those links, those link tags. Now we also removed it from the list. I hope that it's not necessary to have it there. We'll see. I'm going to refresh. So it will auto-refresh eventually, it's supposed to, but everything's running so slowly, I'm just going to refresh myself. The thing that I don't really... I really like my my MacBook Pro, but one of the things I don't like is the inability to upgrade it, you know, very much beyond what you get. So it would be nice if I could just keep this same MacBook and then add more to it, you know. But at least the last time I checked, I didn't think that was possible to do. Okay. It's still not working. Alright, that's too bad. Alright, so let's look a little deeper and see if we can figure out why it's not working. Alright, so on click, we want to toggle drawer. Why would it be working only sometimes? Well, maybe we need to move it further up then. Let's take it from here and let's move it up to our grid item and see if that works. I guess we could do the same here. Oops. No, I guess we can't do the same here because we don't have a grid, do we? We have the link. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we didn't make these a grid item. All right. Well, let's just test it out. I'm not really hopeful that this will work. Hey. All right. So that worked for this one. So when we click undergraduate, great, that worked. But when we click graduate, that didn't work. So let's, you know what, let's move this back here. Let's move this back onto the link and double check to make sure that was not working. And if we need to, we can just wrap this in a div and then that may work. So we'll wrap it in a div and then put the on click and on key down into the div. We'll see. Ricardo says also Champions League quarterfinals live. Oh well, I mean I'm up against Mark Zuckerberg, Congress, and Champions League, so I mean I'd say I'm doing pretty good with the 17 viewers that are here right now. So for those of you that are watching, thank you very much for choosing me over all that other stuff. Alright, let's see. Can this shut? Nope. Alright, let's make a div. Let's get rid of this. Let's make a div. And we'll add this in the div. Save that. Give it a refresh. There we are. That works. Let me click on another link though to make sure that we're actually getting, like, the link part of it's actually working still. Okay, and it is. So the on click on that div to do the drawer works, and then the actual link works. Wonderful. Alright, great. So now so we have the two separate areas. A click on the link part closes the drawer and the link works, but a click on the icon part does not close the drawer and it does not cause a change in the page. Great. So that's what we want. So now what we do need here is click this expand item text. Okay, let's we were going to check to see what's going on with state. So let's go into React. We'll open this up. And either one of these will work. We'll actually this is just like nothing's working. It's so slow. Let me refresh, see if I get it working again. Alright, you know what? Let's just do it this way. You know what? I bet I'm calling this. Alright, so let's say expand sub item, And let's change this to expand sub item. And I'm not saying, my goodness, this dot. I made so many mistakes in here. What is? how did I not see all that was wrong with that when I first copied it over? All right. Anyway, let's see what this gives us, and it doesn't matter about DevTools over here. Let's just close that. Okay, not doing anything for there. Let's see. Drawer items. Okay, we're calling this drawer items. We're just going to console log some stuff. So since our React dev tools are not doing anything, we'll just use old-fashioned console logs. Let's make that a bit bigger. See, waiting for this to load. It's still spinning. I think it hasn't loaded yet. Yeah, this definitely hasn't loaded yet. There we go. Whoa, lots of stuff happening here. Each channel area, unique key prop. Okay. Okay. I will fix this in a second. But let's see what we're getting in the console here. Let's just get rid of all this stuff. Okay. Okay, so this is changing. It's adding academically excellent, true or false. There we are. Okay, so we are getting a change now. I believe it's just the extreme lag from me trying to stream and run OBS. So there we are. That is working just like we wanted to. Let's make sure it works with this other one as well, independently. Yep, it does work. Oh. Hold on a second. No, that's not the behavior that I really want. Alright, let's go back and check. See, what should be happening here is it shouldn't be overwriting completely the previous state here. So it should keep whatever we set for the drawer items. So what should happen is that everything that was there should be combined with this new this new state just for that particular item. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I mean, obviously it's working, but let's see the problem. Alright, so set that to open. I guess it still works. Alright, I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm gonna leave the console log in to remind myself that it's not working exactly as I want. So from a user perspective, it is working, but I would rather have that state saved. So, but for now, we have it working enough that we can add in this collapse. So let's do this. Let's add in this collapse and the list into here. So what we'll have, let's see where we add that in. List item. Alright, so our list item is within there. We don't want that. Alright, so we're putting this after the list item. Okay. So essentially we can put this after our link and it should still work. Now, do we want it after the grid? I guess I'll just try it. I'm not sure where this is going to work the best. I guess after this. And then we need list. We need to close out this. Oops. Collapse. Okay, and then within there, we're gonna put these. So we'll have links. Actually, let's copy the links as we have them here. Okay, since that's really how we need them. Okay. So within that, oh shoot. Let's stop that for a second. So let's see. There we are. So we need to map over these things first, right? So let's do item.sub menu dot map. Yeah, that's how we're gonna do it. Okay, so then we'll do sub item, and then we can return this. All right. Yes. All right. That's but we need to change everywhere that says item. We need to change to sub item. There we go. Sub item dots. Okay. And let's save that. Let's see why it's still giving me missing key prop. Oh, okay. Missing key props. Let's see. Oh, because I moved the key. I need to move the key onto the div. There we are. And then I need to do that down here as well. Whoops. Let's move the key onto the div. So when you are when you're mapping over something and you're inserting multiple elements with React, they each need to have a unique key. So that's why we're getting that error, and we were also getting that same error in the console a few minutes ago. And let's fix it up here as well. So we have our key here on the link, but really we should now put it here on our grid item, since that's the outermost item. No, actually it's not. Our outermost item is the entire grid, the grid container. So that's where we're going to put it for that. And my timer just went off, so hopefully this works. Let's give it a refresh, see if it works. If it does work, then that's great. Then we accomplished what we needed to. There's still the issue of the alignment of those icons, but other than that, if this works, we should be good. Should be mission accomplished for today. Nope, submenu map is not a function. Item.submenu.map. Alright, let's see what we have going on here. I believe that we did have submenu items. Okay. No. Okay, item.submenu. Yeah, so if item.sub... Oh, I know. I know what the problem is. We still have that submenu set to true at the top here. So the data type that it's expecting is an array, but we were giving it a Boolean. So that's why we had the error. So let's try that again. Okay, so I'm looking while this is loading. I'm checking the live chat. We were talking about how it's a lower than normal turnout for today's stream, so number one, there's several live events happening right now that could be it. Phoenix also said, you know, a lot of people were here for this for the CSS. We've been here for continuously for act as and CSS will stand on. Okay, so I think it's because not a lot of them have been here continuously for React, as in CSS it was standalone. So yeah, maybe the few times that we did just CSS stuff, that was pretty easy to understand standalone, so that does make sense. I did get very like above average turnout for that. Okay, let's try it. Oh, I know what I messed up. Okay. When you're copying and pasting things, it seems like it's easier to forget what you need to change. So this collapse, I'm trying to say like in is open, and there is no is open now for this, right? So let's see. Collapse component li is open. So instead of is open, we instead want to use drawer items, and then what were we calling that? Oops, no. I'm editing the wrong one. Okay, let's get down here to the right one. There we are. So we need drawer items and then item.text. Okay, so this will look in state for the drawer items, and then it will find the value of the drawer item that has the key of this particular item in that list. Okay. One more refresh. If this doesn't work, I'm just going to go back to the questions because I think I'm out of ideas, and so I'll have to look up some stuff. Carlos said, didn't remember about the Champions League. See you later, Jesse. Of course, he's just kidding. So, all right, let's give it a try now. Yay! All right, cool. It works. Awesome. I don't think any of these links actually work yet. I could try it, but I think it's going to take us to a page that doesn't work. Okay, but it was cool. It actually did shut the drawer, which is what we wanted. So even though the page does not work yet, that's still very cool. Awesome. All right, cool. So that works. So basically, the only thing that needs to be done for this to be completely finished would be just some alignment things. So right now, I would want this, and you can probably see it better like this. So right now, this is aligned to the top of the container. I'd want it to the middle, so it lines up with this text. And then once we open up these submenu items, you can see the indentation is all wrong. It's actually at the same level as the top level list items, we would want it to be indented another level and potentially even have a lower font weight. So that'll need to be fixed. While we're doing that, probably what I'll end up doing is bumping these back even further to make space for this other level. So essentially the third level, which are these ones, will end up being at this point, and then this will bump back, this will bump back, and then that way you'll have this. So it should make space for everything like that. And so that's excuse me. So I'll work on that. And then in terms of the data, I will need to go through now and add in sections to the data so that we have all those submenus where we need them. Alright, so there's only a few more comments in the chat. So if you have a question, go ahead and put it in there now. But I'm just going to go through these last few comments, and then we're going to finish up the stream. And John says console log is a game saver for me, even in React. Yeah, for sure. I mean, occasionally I'll see like a tweet or an article saying like you should never use console log, and I don't know. I mean, to me, sometimes a really simple debugging issue it makes sense to use something really simple. Maybe if I knew more about the other ways to debug, maybe it would be easier for me. But you know, throwing in a console log is just, it's so easy, and I'm so used to it. You know, it definitely, you know, I would need a good reason to use something else. And it works. Niki says, find myself also console logging all the time. The Chrome debugger in VS Code is so powerful, though. I haven't learned to use it yet. Yeah, same with me. There's so much in Visual Studio Code that I don't know how to use. I'm learning new stuff about it all the time, mainly from you all. Phoenix says, hey Jesse, what exactly does Yarn do? Also, do you know any package that gives me terminal functionality within Sublime Text, just like we can see in Visual Studio Code here? I don't know of any packages for Sublime because I've never used Sublime Text, so I have no idea. If anybody uses Sublime and knows of a package that will allow you to use an integrated terminal, please let us know in the chat or in the comments. And then in terms of Yarn, Yarn does exactly the same thing that NPM does. When it first came out, it was claimed that it could do at least two things better than NPM. One, it was faster, and two, it came with this lock file that kept all the... Essentially, it gave you greater control over like exactly what was going on with all your packages, right? So they would you would save your log file to your GitHub repo, and then everybody else would use that same log file. So now NPM also has its own log file, and it is faster as well. So I don't know if Yarn has any advantages now or not over NPM. I just got used to using it after, you know, shortly after it came out, and so that's why I still use it. Albert says, can you make a React Redux and Firebase website / portfolio when you're finished with this series? This one is a bit too much for me. Usually, so Albert, usually what I do is whatever I have to do for my job. So we'll see. We'll see what comes up next. I imagine whatever I do next is probably going to be less difficult than what I'm doing now, because they're just smaller sites. So we'll see. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what my next project is going to be, but I think it will be less involved. Nikki says, should also make the drawer bigger on desktop. Yeah, I can definitely do that. I hadn't thought about that before, but that's a possibility. John says, it's true, Nikki, at larger media width, a percentage can work better than a set pixel width. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I'd like to use a percentage with a max width. So I would never want, if somebody's using an extra wide screen, I would never want the sidebar to be like really, really big. So maybe I can combine some media queries with a percentage width and a max width. So like I never want it to be larger than, like, let's say 400 pixels wide. And then percentage wise as well, I would never want it to take up more than, let's say, I don't know, 80% of a screen. Yeah, something like that. Which, I mean, that's pretty crazy that it would take up 80%, but still, like, I think so. Maybe actually, I could see a case for a max and min width. I'll have to think about it, but that is a good point. So, I mean, essentially, like, I'd never want it to be below 300 pixels, and probably not above 400 pixels. And then on a desktop, I mean, it could reasonably take up 20% of the screen at least and be okay. Mobile's tricky. Actually, I could probably use a percentage on mobile and that would be okay. So, like, I'd never want it to take up more than 80% of the screen, with the minimum being at 300. Yeah. Because the smallest phone screen width is 320 pixels, I think. Yeah. Anyway, I'll have to test it out and think more about that in pixels. So, I mean, for now, that'll probably be something that it's like, if I can get to it, I will, but it's not necessary before launch because it works as it is. All right, cool. Phoenix says, it's just like buttons. We don't want them to get squeezed nor blowed up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly the case. It'll look... there has to be this medium thing. It'll look terrible if it's squeezed together, and it'll look terrible if it's too big. So we just got to find the right range that's acceptable. Okay. All right, well, I think I'm going to finish up with the stream now. So I've got through the live chat. Thank you all so much for watching and for choosing me over Mark Zuckerberg and Champions League. Really appreciate that. I should be back tomorrow. I'll be in the office tomorrow. I do have a meeting in the morning. I don't think I have any other meetings, so it should be good tomorrow for a stream. And I'm not exactly sure what we'll work on tomorrow, so it'll be a surprise. Yeah, so have a wonderful day. Thank you all again for watching. Super helpful as always. And I will be back tomorrow.